All right, friend. What you going by tonight?
Uniquia.
Uniquia. Put your right hand up and your left hand on your word, wherever you decide your word is. All right, hold it just like that. Do you solemnly agree we have your permission to post this across all of our social media platforms?
Absolutely.
Is there anything, and I do mean anything, that's off limits you don't want us to ask you about?
It's nothing off limits.
If we do ask you something that's off limits, do you understand you can tell us no, I want to pass, or let's move on?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get it.
Let's get started.
Okay, literally, there's no pressure. I'm your host, Bangem Bugg.
It's your girl, just came for real.
And we got a special guest. She just introduced herself. So tell us where you're originally from.
Hi, my name is Uniquia Manigault. I am 32 years old. I'm originally I was born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but I was raised in Atlanta. Been here since the 4th grade, and I don't think I'm going nowhere. I'm an actress, model, poet, CEO of Black Girl Beauty Foundation. We teach acting, modeling, and poetry to children ages 3 to 18. We do everything, ladies and gentlemen. We teach hair braiding as well because it's a foundation. And I'm just so thankful to be here with Just Kay and Bangem Bugg. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Okay, come on with the intro.
You know you gotta throw that on.
You do.
Right.
You gotta set the tone.
You gotta step in right.
She gonna have us speaking proper today.
Still coming.
Okay.
Okay, did you grow up both of your parents?
I grew up in contact with both of my parents, but I was raised by my mother. And my father is back into my life now, but growing up, we had separations.
What does that mean?
That means there were periods where he was consistent and there were periods where he wasn't, but we've grown and I'm thankful for where we are now. And knowing who I am now, I don't even know who I would have been had we've been around each other consistently, if that makes sense. But when I was a kid, it was just me and my mom and my brothers.
So would you say the type of guy you would you want a guy like your dad or like the opposite?
I would want a man like my father, not necessarily a father like my father, if that makes sense.
Break it down.
Because like my father's a wonderful man. Like getting to know him, his heart, his hard work, everything he does, how he builds, how he puts things together, and the love he had for me. Like that's why I said there were moments where we were inconsistent because he was so loving when I was first born. When I was in Harrisburg, I told you I was originally born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So when I was about 5 years old, I was in Harrisburg, and he's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's where he resides. So he was there, and he was like, I was a daddy's girl. And then when we moved, before we came to Atlanta, we went to South Carolina. That's when we kind of started getting distant. And I'm going to say that's because of the distance. It's a 9-hour distance between Pennsylvania and South Carolina. So he was kind of not really a part of my life. If my mom brought me to him, then I saw him. If my mom didn't take him, then I didn't see him. So, and that kind of created this, not hatred in me, but anger in me growing up. So I had this, where's my dad? And when I was really, really young, I blamed my mom. Like most kids, like, oh, you keeping me from my dad. You're not letting me come around my dad. But the older I got, when it was more like, if I can reach out to him, then I can be with him. Mm-hmm. When I began doing that, I got to really see that it wasn't all my mom. Mm-hmm. And that kind of made me feel away because, like I told you, I was a daddy's girl. Mm-hmm. So it's like dating a man. You know, you think this man love you to the T, and then you discover maybe he don't love you like you think you do, or maybe it's nothing blocking him from being in your life. He's just not. And that was a harsh reality for me growing up. So I had a lot of anger, and I think that has a whole lot to deal with the type of men I dated, because I spent most of my younger years before the forgiveness and before the reconciliation. I spent a lot of years like reaching out, listening to like, oh, I'm gonna come get you, but don't ever come, or so I deal with men like that. You know, men tell you he gonna do so. I like to say I like a man that keeps his word. But then I also date men that'll tell me they're gonna do something and then don't do it. But as I'm growing up, I realized I dealt with that same thing with my father. So that's what I mean by, but he's a great man and a great, when he's around, I can get anything I want out of him. I'm almost say it's hard for him to say no. But when I'm not, growing up, It's different now. But growing up, I almost couldn't get an answer from the phone. And even now that I'm an adult, that's why I say maturity is a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and grow up. Because even now there are moments when we're around each other and somebody will tell me all the stuff he did for them when they were kids. Oh yeah, I called your dad first. Your dad did this, that, and that for me. And I'm like,
that's what's up.
I can't relate.
Okay.
You know? And it's I'm gonna say that's the immaturity in me because I really be feeling away.
Yeah.
I be like, I wish I knew. You know, I wish I had that. But it's definitely come a long way. So that's the type of, I don't want that for my children. I don't want my children to have the type of father that let them down, that make them feel like other people were more important than they were. Because I'm his child. Mm-hmm. So why does a stranger, not necessarily a stranger to him, but a stranger to me, why do they get more out of you than I do? Mm-hmm. That was how I felt growing up. And that relatively related directly to the type of men I dated. Because looking back on my relationships, I dealt with a lot of, I'm gonna do this but don't do it, and I'm never going back but still go back. And it's like I want you to do what you said you're gonna do, and I see the potential. Same thing with my dad. He had the potential, obviously, because I know a lot of people that can tell me the great dad he was growing as a child. So the potential was there, and I knew it was there, and I just didn't get it.
So you was trying to pull it out of other people.
Yeah, basically.
That's interesting. Like, I have a similar experience, but mine made me like avoid it. So if you're inconsistent, or if I feel like one of my pet peeves is BS. If you BS with me, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm done with it.
And I'm like that with everybody but my dad. I can't do it. I literally, even now, like if he were to make me mad right now, I would get mad. And then I'm the type of person, once you piss me off, don't speak to me. Don't look at me, don't speak to me. I don't want to talk to you. And if you talk to me, I'm mad. He will make me mad, and then in 5 minutes want to laugh and joke and give me a hug. And I'm that person like, that joke wasn't funny. And it could have been hilarious. But as when it's your parent, because even my mom got her little moments where it's like they have this thing where as soon as they piss you off, they want to talk to you. I don't want to talk. And I'm thinking a lot of the ways that I have as far as shutting people off and cutting off has to do with that, because I'd rather not deal with you than continuously allow you to hurt my feelings, because it's hard to hurt my feelings. And anybody who knows me can tell you that. Most people say I'm mean. I'm not. I'm very nice. But a lot of people do say I'm mean. But once you hurt my feelings, it's up. Like I growing up, I used to like to fight. So as soon as the argument gets too out of control, that's where I was. I had to grow out of that. And that's where it was. I mean, and especially dad jokes growing up. Because, young people, where your dad at? Oh, your dad this, your dad that. And I would instantly, as soon as you say anything about my dad, it was up. And that had to do with what I wanted from him, what I wasn't getting. And even my mom, we had a conversation the other day, and I was telling her, like, the relationship we have now is like, it's amazing. And I love the woman that I am, having both of my parents in my life, being able to pick up my phone and call either one of them at any time. And she was like, well, you didn't, you had everything you wanted growing up, and I did. And I say that I didn't want for anything growing up. Like I had my own room, I had my own phone line, because we didn't have cell phones back then. Okay. But I had my own phone line. My mom had to take my phone, and when she would leave, I would have it. But I was a daddy's girl. I wanted my dad, and I didn't have it growing up.
You got kids?
I don't.
You want some?
I do. I want a bunch. I want a bunch of kids.
A bunch.
Yeah, a bunch. I'm, some people, like, I'm not going to say I'm made to be a mom, but some people kind of are. Like, I love cooking. I like being with my family, which is why I be getting so mad when my family be doing too much, when it's so, like, and I'm not the easiest person to deal with. That I do know. And I do
as far as what? Like, what's not easy?
I'm not mean, but, I'm not nice either. I'm cool. I'm not friendly. That's what I like to say. I'm cool, but
she's straightforward.
Yeah.
Like no cut cards. She's her.
And I don't like that. I stand on. I don't like to lie. Like I really like. It's not you, but who are you to lie to? Mm-hmm. Like what you gonna do?
Who gonna change?
What you gonna do? Like so. And that, some honesty, and I've seen it and heard it, but you don't always have to say everything. I've gotten into it. I've actually lost some good friends just being honest. And it's not that I was wrong. It's just that maybe I didn't say it the way they needed to
You
receive
gotta
it.
use selective honesty. You don't have to be honest all the time.
And that's something I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not, some things you have to be told, and you have to be told by the right person. Like, see, my mom would tell me all the time. That's why I said both parents in your life changes you as a person. Because, you know, one person telling you the same thing over and over and over again, whether they're right or wrong, you might assume they're telling you because they're annoyed with you. They're not, like, you don't really take into consideration that what they're saying is true. But then you get around somebody that don't really know you like that, or a stranger. Let's just say you out and about somewhere and a stranger come up to you and tell you something your mom tell you every day. It's like, dang,
right. She was right.
Right. And I got that, me reconnecting with my dad, I got that a lot. Like, and I knew I had to mature because he would say things and I'd be like, you don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna say that? But that's the more point to let you know that what he's saying is true, because he don't really know you like that, and he's saying it. And then here's someone who does know you like that, and they're saying it. And I meet strangers that, you know, they say things.
So you think you like that with your man? Like if your man says something? Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Because then some women, like, it's confirmed when they friends say it, but they man been saying this shit the whole time. So.
I actually do not have a man that can say I was mean to him. Like, that has always bothered me. Like, I always felt, you know, sweet with my man, but then they be pissed. So it always pissed me off when the relationship go left, or I find out he doing something, because I'm like, you don't even know how I really do these people.
Yes.
I'm out here being. Because like I said, I like cooking. So, and I'm one of them people, when I say I like cooking, I cook, and then when I feed you, I'm watching you to see, you know, oh yeah, they like that. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. So, I pay attention. Like, if you were to tell me, not you, but you know, we had already established about that. But if my man were to tell me this is his particular meal, favorite meal, I'm going to perfect that meal. So when he eats it, I'm like, oh yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I did that.
That's what I made today, babe. I'm like that. But then I got brothers, and we bicker and fight and get into it all the time. And it's stuff I have said to my brothers that I would never even say to my man. And I have always battled with that, because it's like, like if me and my brother were arguing, I would say whatever. Like, I'm like, let's just say he might say something to me like, you know, that's why you ain't got no man, because you this, that, and that. I'm like, well, that's why you don't have a woman, because this, that, the third. But if me and my man were arguing, and he were to say something to me like, you know what, just shut up sometimes. Actually, one did say this to me. He told me, just shut up sometimes, you'd be more attractive. He said that to me, and I said, And my little feelings was hurt.
Okay.
And I took it, and I sat there, and we went on about the day, and I took it.
And you was quiet.
Quiet. And I don't do that. I'm talking about,
okay.
I took that. I was like, wow, this man told me if I shut up sometime, I'd be more attractive. Like, who the hell is this man to tell me?
Okay.
Like, and then I really, in my mind, I'm like, I look better than you. Okay. And then I started going down the list of reasons why he should, you know. But instead of having that conversation with him, but had that been my brother, I would have said it. Yeah. I would have said it. And that's why I said I'm working on that, because, you know, we have that. That's an issue that a lot of people have. You know, you treat the ones that are closest to you worse than you treat other people. And I don't want to be like that, because family is most important. And that's something that I had to grow into, because I didn't say it, but my family was separated. My immediate family was separated from my whole family. So we kind of grew up by ourselves, me and my little brother, versus where my cousins were, they were all together. So it's easy for me to cut people off and go without speaking and all of that. Even now, like, I got cousins I ain't speaking to and don't plan to speak to ever again. But then, you know, I got friends who, when we fall out, if I feel like I was wrong, then I'll reach out. But sometimes even with family, like, I have to really, really, really be persuaded to reach out if I feel like I was wrong. Once upon a time. Okay. Now it's different, but now, if I know I was right and I feel like I was right and you wrong, I ain't reaching out at all.
I'm telling you.
That's just, and I had to grow to that, because forgiveness is a beautiful thing. However, forgiveness is hard. And I seen I don't know if it was something Brandy said or, you know, it was a meme they put together. When you get so used to being the bigger person, you take the war from outside to inside. And you deal with that. Let's just say somebody really did you terrible, and you forgive them. And now, but you didn't really want to, but you know, forgiveness is for you, it's not for them. But when you forgive certain people and you allow them to speak to you, because if we get to a certain, I don't even want you to speak. Like, we can sit in the same room, and I think you can be cordial without speaking. Yes, but a lot of people don't agree with that. They feel like because they're there, you should say, "Hey."
No,
I don't agree with that. Like, if we can, hey, that's the hey.
I don't even need to do that. I'm gonna walk past you like you not standing.
You know what I'm saying? But leave it to society and the world doing that. You feel away, or
I would feel better than me personally. I'm gonna feel better than to be fake and speak to you and acknowledge you. I'm gonna act like you don't even exist.
Absolutely, and that's what I was saying. That's what I mean by, like, I don't like the lie. I feel like that's a lie. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to laugh at your joke. You're not funny.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the outfit you got on is cute. But hey, if they told you, you know what I'm saying? That's how I be feeling. But I don't.
You look dusty.
Yeah. You look dusty.
Your hands out there.
Right. And don't. And my energy and the way I move, people are attracted to me. People like to come around me, and I'm fun. I ain't gonna lie and say I am fun. Like, I'm the friend that always got the fun pack.
And you be
whatever the fun pack is. If we hungry, I got food. Like, literally in high school, middle school, I was a candy lady in middle school.
Okay.
But high school, middle school, and college, my friends passed my, like, we would be in class, they were like, "Nick, you got some food?" And they would pass my purse around on some, okay, this what she got, da da da. I always had all the snacks. If we were going out to a party, I always had some drink. Okay. I always had the fun pack. So people that I used to cut off, they would want to come around because they know the fun is gonna be here. But if I was over it, why are they here? And I wasn't the one that didn't say it. I would say it, and you know, it makes the room get tension, awkward, and so I had to grow out of that. But then that created this thing in me where it's like, I don't want to come around y'all if I gotta be like
my
that.
tongue.
Right, but that shelters you. It keeps you in confinement, and that's the only reason why I accommodate certain things. But dealing with somebody that I no longer like is still a battle, because I don't want to be cordial with you. I don't want to laugh and joke, but we can work together. We can do. I don't even work. But we can be around each other in the vicinities, and I don't feel like us not speaking would be a problem. And I also don't care, like, to explain that. A lot of people feel like you're bothered if somebody you don't like walks in and you don't want to speak to them. Like, oh, they must bother you. You can't open your mouth and speak. No, they bothered me before. That's why I'm not opening my mouth and speak. And I've been in situations where even ignoring people don't work. Cause I had one of my cousins rolled up on me because I was ignoring her. That was her reason. She was like, she walked in the house and spoke to everybody but me. I was like, that was intentional.
That's draining too much energy. It was this girl who used to, when I had braids, she was saying like a girl came in the shop, right? And she spoke to like 10 other people and she left her out. That's draining too much energy when you could have just said, "Hey everybody, what's up?"
I did that though. I didn't, hey. I was like, "Hey y'all."
I did that when my brother left me in North Carolina and I ended up at my grandfather's house and he was there. Hey grandma, hey cousin, hey father. I needed to do that anyway. I hadn't seen my family. Yeah, and I walked past them to my grandmother. My nephew, his son was in my grandmother's arms. I kissed my nephew and I kept it moving. And it didn't drain me at all. I felt great. So I'm like, they don't exist to me anymore.
Right. But the difference in that, what I discovered in that is when you intentionally leave somebody out, then it is a bother. But when it's like, I know it's going to irritate you if I speak to everybody but you. So I'm going to strategically speak to everyone but you. My thing is, I knew that I didn't want to speak to her. But I knew that we're family, everybody's here, and I didn't want to cause no confusion. So, hey, y'all. But prior to that, I would have individually spoken.
And my thing, it wasn't it's really not draining at all for me. It was literally, I hadn't seen my family, so I had to go. This is my first time being back in Maryland in months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I gotta go touch everybody. I had already been around him. He did what he did,
Right,
and now he doesn't exist to me. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm bothered, so I'm gonna ignore you now.
Right.
It's like, no,
Absolutely.
you did your thing, and you don't exist to me no more, and that's just it.
And that's where I'm at. And I want, and it's like society is crazy. I was talking to a friend, actually the photographer that I had for my event. I'm talking to him and I was like, we were talking about having kids, not together, but having kids. you got to say
clarification.
We were talking about having kids. And he was like, I was just like, one of the main reasons why I don't is because it's not on the suicidal tip, but this world.
Yeah.
I don't want to exist in it. I don't want my kids to exist in this world the way it is, because everything. I don't like the lie, and I feel like everything is a lie. Everything is fake. Like, we have to. Let's just say, like, we'll use Lizzo as an example. Like, this whole body shaming thing. Like, some people genuinely do not like to see that. But if you come out your mouth and say you like, ugh. And it's like, what do you mean? Oh, right. What type of person are you? You're this person. And this whole particular community is going to bash you and try to ruin everything you got going on and take you out and ruin your career, all because you don't want to look at that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say, I'm not to say you right or wrong, but that's how you feel and that's your opinion. And I don't feel like you should be shunned for that.
No, seriously.
And I don't want my kids to have to conform to that. Like, you gotta change who you are. You gotta not feel the way you feel, because you can't tell a child to be who they are in a society where sometimes being who they are could ruin their entire life. Because you can go viral for anything. Somebody records you saying the wrong thing, it's over with for you.
I mean, I think it's creating your own world within this world. Like, what we are doing is creating our own narrative, creating our own realm. We don't necessarily got to be a part of the people who going to cancel you, because the same people who going to cancel you going to bring publicity to whatever you got going on. So now it's like, all right, cool, they cancel me, but these people over here like what I did.
Right.
It's always going to be somebody that like that stuff.
Absolutely.
I feel like I be teaching adults to stand on their own.
For sure.
You know, stop
because
fighting.
That's the thing. You have to have a level of confidence, and you have to have a level of strength that can tolerate all of that. But if we're going to be 100% honest, everybody's not built like that.
That's a fact.
And it's not a bad thing. It's just, this is for some people, this is for other people. But we all want to be accepted. We all want to make money. We all want to have that platform and be able to say what we want to say and reach out and touch the world. But you can't do it unless you're willing to conform to what the standards and the rules are. And that's a lot to deal with. Like, I want to, like, in the movie world, you want to be an actress, but it's a lot of actresses out here that aren't actresses. If you do something stupid on the internet and go viral, not everybody wants you in their movie, and you're a terrible actress.
Make your own movie.
Absolutely, but you need people. That's the bottom line. You need people. You need support, and whether you don't need everybody's support, but you do need some. And we're living in a world where people are followers. Like, some people might like what you're doing. They might support you, but they won't support you because of what supporting you means.
And that takes, again, like, you still got to ride your wave. Because
Absolutely.
The same people who didn't jump on the wave initially, they're followers. So there's going to be a certain amount of people that start to ride your wave, and then they're going to follow the same thing.
Absolutely. How's everyone doing? This is my Black Girl Beauty Hoop. We manufacture these, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are interested in getting, you can't even see it on Instagram, 6-pound fitness hoop. That's where the body and the shape comes from. You know, I actually lost a whole lot of weight, but I stand up for y'all one time. See the weight loss? It's given. Oh, you can see me real good back there. It's given. Thanks so much. Work gets you a fitness hoop, 10 minutes a day, ladies and gentlemen. It keeps your body in shape. And I'm gonna have to say, put a little junk in the trunk, because I had lost my little booty, and then just now getting it back to where it needs to go. It's not 100% where it needs to go, because I need some more luggage. But I'm gonna eat. Get there.
You stood up. Amazed.
Now I was amazed.
Yeah. And showed him that. And showed him the fitness suit. You know what the fitness suit does for the body.
Okay. I showed the body
but see, that's why I get the whole mean thing. Because I'm a one-man woman. Like, I like one guy at a time. They mess up one at a time. I replace them one at a time. But when I have one and other guys are trying to, slide in, I be real cut off.
You got one now, right?
I have a friend.
Oh, he don't want you or something?
I'm not. Circumstances aren't where they need to be.
What's that mean?
Our lifestyles just aren't in tune right now. So when I get myself together and he get his stuff together, if we happen to do that around the right time, then it'll be what it is. If we don't, then it won't.
So what, he broke or something?
We all got things going on. I don't know what he got going on. He not broke though, but he not where he need to be.
What's that mean though? Like, he don't have a car? Like,
what is he lacking?
He stay on somebody's couch. He live in a car. Like,
he's just not where he need to be. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how to paint it.
That was good.
He's just not where he need to be. And it's emotional wise, because it's.
Oh, he had like a bitch, like, kinda.
I ain't gonna say, that particular, where he do got some ways and I got some ways, and if
he can't take you,
it's not that he can.
Okay.
But it's I got a lot more maturing to do before I feel like I can handle the type of man he is, and he got a lot of more maturing to do before he can handle the type of woman that I am.
Sound like you need to move on.
Yeah, it do sound like that, don't it?
Yeah. Sound like you wasting time.
He's
convenient or something.
It works.
It's convenient. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. I can't say.
Yeah. I'll cry. You was on the hot seat with that one, right?
No, it ain't. It's just because my fans is watching, so you can't say too much because I have a friend, but then I have other friends that are like potential, and I don't. You can't shut off the potential for what ain't ready.
Okay, so what is the potential? What do they got? Like what they got going on for you to call them potential?
Everything.
You just want the other guy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You want what you want, but something's better for you in where your life is right now. Because I don't have any baggage, and that's a big deal. Like, especially in 2023. 32-year-old woman, young, nice looking, I like to say.
Okay.
I got my own everything, and I don't have no children. And I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm always working. So for me to come like that, I feel like you need to accommodate a whole lot. And
like what? Like what you mean?
Like, you need to have everything I have, and your attitude and personality needs to be a whole lot up to par. I'm talking about. You need to be able to receive constructive criticism. You need to be hardworking. You need to be ambitious. You need to have everything. Money, we can fluctuate. There are going to be hard times in relationships, but the hard times can't last forever. You know what I mean?
So ask for a lot though.
That's what's a lot.
To treat them good, like.
But look, that treating you good don't pay the bills. That treating you good.
I'm saying I ain't looking for nobody. Women look for niggas to pay bills. So
no. We don't look for men to pay bills, but when you come around, we expect you to. There's a difference.
If I pay my own bills, you got to pay your own bills. That's all
I mean?
I'm saying. I don't want you to come around. I got to pay your bills and my bills. That's all.
That's usually the one they want though.
What?
The nigga they have to help.
No, it's not. No. And that's the misconception too. It's not that we want the man we have to help, but what y'all got to realize is, and as a man, I'm sure you know, the one that needs the help is probably the one that treats you the best. And
not the niggas I know. They be nice to you because they need shit.
Exactly.
I'm gonna kiss your ass because I gotta use
that's
your
what
car.
I'm saying.
I'm gonna kiss your ass because I need money for a haircut.
That's what I'm saying. And as a woman, you have to be able to decipher that. Like, you have to be able to say, this man only acting like this because he needs me. But
they put on a good
in the beginning, you don't know. Like, I've dated a guy, and in the beginning, I didn't know he was as needy as he was. It takes some things you learn on down the road. Like, in the beginning, you don't know he don't have a car because you might pull up to his house. And y'all meet up, y'all do something, and you might not know he don't have a car until like 3 meetups later. But by then, you might already be knee deep in. And then after
3 days?
Listen.
You get that ass up quick, don't you?
No, I didn't say that you don't have to be having sex to be knee deep in. It's hard. I'm going to tell you right now, it's hard to get
knee deep without sex.
Yes.
I
can't relate. Yes, I can be knee deep without the sex. The sex is like a top tier thing. Like it's the icing on the cake.
Oh, you saying your shit top tier?
For sure.
Who told you that?
I know that, but I've been told by everybody I've encountered. Never got a bad report.
Okay.
I ain't, and the list ain't long, but hey, it ain't short, and I ain't never got a bad report.
I'm saying usually girls who had dead vagina, you don't actually tell them. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of times you don't say nothing.
But I've never asked and been told. I'm not like. See, that's what I'm saying. Sex it's a bonus. It's not the relationship. So I'll be more focused on what you like to eat versus how good I am in bed. But I grew up reading Coldest Winter Ever, all the same. So before I was having sex, I was kind of informed on what to touch, how to move. And I ain't never been bad looking, I don't think. So a lot of that has to do with how the sex goes. If you kind of know what you're doing, it's good. And then if your body, show up the way it's supposed to show up, it's even better.
I want to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm saying you can touch all the right shit, but if the insides don't feel...
I can't relate to that. I can't relate to how the insides don't feel, because these insides feel the way they need to feel. They move how they need to move, and the water flow.
She said, I know what to do.
You know what I mean?
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, and it's a bonus. So and I know how good it is, because even when we get to it. So I'm not even letting you touch me that type of way unless we there. Like I gotta really, really like you.
So what's like a 3-month waiting period?
It's not a time.
Just depends.
It depends. It's on the person, because I've been involved with guys, and this was years before we ever had anything. And then I've been with guys, and it was weeks.
Never days, huh?
Ain't nothing. No, I ain't never no days. Never.
I can't remember.
I've never even slept with a man that I didn't know. Like it wasn't always, you know what I'm saying, we met and then we moved into something. Some of the men I knew, and then later on down the line we got together, but I've never had by the time we get down, I might know your first, middle, last name, whole family. It used to be, because I grew up in a different time. So when I was growing up, it was like mandatory that you got to know the type of family I come from, because I come from a church family. So they were more strict on us about that.
That was a bit freaky.
Yeah, and I was the only girl for a long time. The only girl. So it was, I used to hang with all my guy cousins, and they wouldn't let their friends mess with me. And my brother, he never cared. He would let his friends talk to me, but my cousins didn't.
Brother.
No, I wanted my brother I wanted him to be like,
so
don't talk to my, yeah.
Okay, so let's go left. So how many guys you been with?
Oh my gosh. I actually got a list. Let me see if I can tell you the real number.
It's over 50?
No, it's not over 50.
I feel like that's a boy thing.
It is.
It's a what?
That's a boy thing.
It's not over 50.
Yeah.
No, I think 40, 50, most girls.
No.
I don't know. Y'all need, most of the girls I know is hoes. So.
Okay, that's how
and
girls
then
hoes.
What I will say is, you could get caught up a few times.
Not 50 times.
Yeah, not 50 times, but
I don't know.
And it's 2023. They don't even consider it hoeing no more.
I didn't call accidental bodies, but not 50.
How many women have you been with? I'll answer if you can tell me.
I told Kay before. I've revealed it before.
It's a lot.
Is my name Kay?
No, but you want to know for real?
I'm saying, you asked.
It's like...
You lying.
I don't want to say it.
Okay, well,
why you don't want to say it?
Why
you don't want to say it?
Is it low?
Why don't you want to say it? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, it just feel weird now.
Aww.
It felt...
It didn't feel weird asking me?
Okay. It's like 130, 140.
That's a lot.
It's low to compare to the niggas I'm cool with.
It's what?
It's
130.
Low. Like, one of my
so your friends are hoes.
One of my homeboys in prison. He's probably like 400.
In prison?
I don't even know 400 people.
Everywhere we would go, like it's a girl who know him. He like that much. It's like 300.
That's
Another
dirty.
homeboy like 300.
That is dirty.
It's up there.
That's dirty.
So,
Like that's beyond.
That's a low number for.
Because I'm almost positive he didn't use condoms with 400 women. That's dirty.
No.
It's very much.
That's
dirty.
the one he a fucking crackhead, bro. Like.
And that is dirty to the top tier. Like, ooh.
That's the 300 like the player type niggas that you will see, like all the girls like, that's they number, like 300, 400.
They're lying. I can't. No.
That's a lot of people.
Most of and then if they dirty, because most men like that, they're all dirty.
It's like you gotta hit a girl like at least twice a week or something.
I still was a girl on Instagram. She had slept with like 500 men or something in like 2 days or something. It was like she had slept with a different man every 15 minutes or something like that. It was on Instagram.
Every 15 minutes.
I think it might have been less than that because it was like 500 in a day.
And that's the thing too, like boys be running trains and stuff too. So that's the girl. That's the girl catching mad bodies. How do y'all do that?
I ain't never had none of that.
How did
never
you
had
hit 100?
And ain't nobody ever running a train.
I'm saying you could do that if you start fucking like at 17. They don't take long
To hit 100?
Yeah. I mean, they slow down when you get older, but like when you like 17,
what is the
25,
caliber of women that we're talking about? Because it's easy to hit certain type. But is it like it? No, it depends.
Anything with a coochie.
Is these all dimes? Like
like I don't even consider.
See, and that's the thing. Most of them have like 4 10s, and then the rest be like 3.
I don't even think I had no 10. I had some 9s. I don't think I've had no 10.
Ladies, watch. If ladies watching, if he's been with you, he's confirming you're not a 10.
Most women, they consider themselves a higher number than they really are. Like most girls are.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. They just feel like they bad. Like
I think the Richter scale is.
And I think that's the men's fault a lot. Men, because that's what this whole BBL thing is so popular. Like men make women feel like they're better than they are. Like. And society, that's what I'm saying. You can't even tell somebody they ugly no more. You're something shaming. You're gonna be body shaming. You're gonna be personality shaming, foot shaming, screen shaming.
What you consider yourself? What's your number?
I'm a 10.
I'm
really bigger than that, but 10 is the highest that we can go. I'm the best looking woman I know.
What you give yourself, Kay?
The same thing.
Yeah, what you mean?
I'm like a 15 in my head. I'm like, oh, I love you.
Break the scale.
I'm above average.
What you think you are?
I think I'm average looking.
Oh.
Like a 5? I'm asking you. I'm not saying it.
Average. What's an average, Kay?
It's not a 5.
7?
Yeah, I think I'm an average looking guy. That's how I think.
I was asking,
and we're just going strictly off looks because sometimes when you're judging a man, the 10 goes along with what comes with him.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because even if you find, if you got three baby mamas, 6 kids, baby, you a 5. Okay. You a 5, and I don't care what nobody's like.
Future, and if you don't take care of your kids, you like a 2.
No, you're a negative.
For real.
You're a negative. Future is, to me, Future is fine. But Future like a 3. Got to be.
Mad kid.
Got to be. And that's with the money. That ain't to say that I wouldn't have fun, but that's a 3. He's definitely a 3.
I'm saying he financially can take care of his kids. So you just.
But does he? It takes more than money to raise a child.
I'm saying, but if you get a man whose lifestyle is on the road, then how much time could he spend with him? Like
well, baby got his kids all the time.
So does Toby. I don't even know how to say his last name.
Oh yeah.
Baby on the road. The whole family's on the road. Excuses are monuments of nothing. They build bridges to nowhere, and people who use them as tools of incompetence shall become masters of nothing. So if you have an excuse for why you aren't doing what you need to be doing for your child, that's your problem.
I'm saying you also have to have good relationships too with the
exactly.
women. Sometimes.
So if you aren't willing to do that, if the road is more
money
important,
make that.
Yeah.
If you got money, you can make that relationship.
Exactly.
Good.
Money.
James Brown, all his baby mothers and his wife was cool with his baby mothers and stuff.
But sometimes women will be like, "Fuck you," because you don't want to be with them.
Sometimes, but at the end of the day, and I gotta say this, you chose her,
and then you got put in the work.
So it's like, and people do change after you have children, but some tendencies you kind of knew were there. Like you would know if a woman you would know if a woman wants you to, and you know if she wants you, or even if him, because I know some men that ain't being there for their kids strictly because the woman didn't want him. Mm-hmm. You kind of knew that if you didn't want to be with this man, he wasn't going to be there for your child. You kind of knew those tendencies were there. So it's not to say that it's fair, but it's to say you need to put in the work to do whatever you need to do to make sure that your child has what they have. If you're not willing to do that, then your child is going to suffer. Sometimes you're going to have to go through things that you didn't want to go through or you didn't think you'd have to go through because of the decisions that you made. Mm-hmm. And we, instead of taking accountability for that, we like to make excuses. Okay, he don't want to be there, oh well. But now your child is suffering.
Some men don't give a fuck about no kids. It's not their priority.
Some men don't. But I'm gonna tell you, my mom used to drop me off to my dad. Like when we were in Harrisburg, my dad plays the piano, so he would play at the churches. If my mom needed a babysitter and he didn't answer the phone, my mom would drive around, find his car, walk in there, and anybody who knew me growing up can tell you this. My mom would come up to the usher, and be like, "Hey, can you take her up to her dad?" And the usher would walk me, and my dad would tell this story. He was like, "Yeah, you would come walking in your cute little dress right on up there," and I would be with my dad for the rest of the day. You have to be with.
I don't think I could fuck with nobody if I was like forced on them, because it's like you gonna see it later on. Like,
that's your child though. It's not. It's different when it's your child. No one's forcing.
Yeah, if I was feeling like I was being forced on the nigga, I wouldn't probably.
Who cares? Who cares?
I care. Like I don't want to be around nobody who don't want to be around me.
It's not that he don't want to be around you. Most of the time, I'm gonna say it's the inconvenience. Like I don't want to stop what I'm doing to be a parent. And not that that's fair, but I'm going to assume that's really what it is. Because having a child is a responsibility.
It's slavery.
Like, you can't, I ain't going to say that because I want kids. I like it. I like being with the kids.
You can like being a slave. There's some slaves that like being.
No, I don't claim slavery. Okay. But kids are a responsibility. Like, me right now, I can get up, I can go to Miami right now, tonight, in my car, and not say nothing to nobody. When you have kids, you can't do that. You have to make accommodations for these children. You got to make sure that wherever you going is suitable for you and those kids. If you're not going to take the kids, you got to find somebody to watch the children, and that person has to be responsible enough to keep your kids, and you got to make sure you're going to come back in a suitable enough time to respect the person that's keeping your kids. I ain't got to do that.
You trying to win over something.
But you want me to do it?
Yeah, I ain't even get to the question.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Katie.
Okay, so is there anything that our audience hasn't been able to learn from you that maybe we didn't touch on that you want to share with them?
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. I actually host my own talk show called Chata every Thursday night at 8 p.m. We will be back February 3rd. We're going to be kicking off with Black History Month, and it has been a plum-pleasing pleasure. We discuss what matters when Black women Chatter. That's how we do it. Okay. Because on Chitter Chatter, we talk about topics that we as Black women don't normally talk about, because Black Girl Beauty is a foundation that focuses strictly but for everyone, but our main focus is Black women and children, just to help us build who we are. And we need spaces where we can be free and talk about who we are and what we do, where it's just us. And we don't have spaces like that. And being with Black Girl Beauty, one thing that I've noticed is being in a space that's strictly for us, by us, is a hard fight. We are the only people that have to fight about that. Like, if it was an all-white situation, no one would question it. But when we have an all-Black foundation that does things strictly with us, for us, that only allows us, we have to fight to exist. And that's what Chitter Chatter is about. So be sure to tune in. And, ladies and gentlemen, I gave you guys on Instagram and Facebook the rundown. We here at Black Girl Beauty, we manufacture our very own fitness hoops. Here we go. Okay. It's a 6-pound fitness hoop. It keeps you in shape, gets the body right and tight. I actually did a little stand up for Facebook and Instagram, but you want me to stand up your screen? Okay, cool.
It's alright, I'm crying.
You gotta know what it does for the body. You see? 10 minutes a day, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Make sure that you keep everything in shape. Get your Black Girl Beauty Fitness hoop. 10 minutes a day. And I'm going to leave you guys with a poem because I'm a poet. I'm actually on book number 2, Living in Truth, Volume 2, The Rebirth. Will be completed, audio and everything, on the 15th of January.
Yes.
But in our community, we don't address the things that we do enough. We don't talk about our feelings. We don't talk about why we hide or why we do. And that brings me to the poem. It's called Pretend Life. What happened to the days when people showed compassion? The days when life was more than money, flexing, and fashion. More than who's doing which, and who's got what. Back in the days when instead of pretending, we actually got out and worked for what we want. You see, the age of social media has ruined the earth. Nothing's real anymore. No one knows their worth. We dress up, put on fake smiles, and pretend we are the best. But actually, we're living no different from the rest. How is it that a working class man has to struggle to have barely just enough? And when he can't splurge and blow hard-earned cash, the world treats him so rough. You see, the world has gotten so used to pretending to have the best life that we've actually stopped trying to get it. You can hop on IG, Facebook, or Twitter and just post like you live it. And for some, that's okay because in their minds, it was never a reality. But how did the slackers take over and dominate in the community? What happened to you, me, and unity, and the desire to be more than what we used to be? When did loyalty become a question and our hearts turn so cold? How do we come so far and just forget what we were told? With time comes change, great change it should be. But actually, we're getting worse and gotten worse. You just can't see. We're pretending. Pretending so well that even we believe our lies. We'll stop, strike a pose, and take a picture while we cry. And swear we're hurt inside. And no one knows this pain that in our minds is real life. We write these sad stories and find emojis as we type. And by the time it's all done, we're ecstatic by the likes. We get revived off the love. We feed off of it, actually. We determine our worth by likes and popularity. Likes and popularity for a person that does not exist. Bump into some of y'all off the internet. I feel like I've been catfished. Catfished with looks and even with attitude. On a date, like, according to your post, this is not you. You are not Mike single with no kids, because homeboy, you're married and you've created a village. And how you posting all day about how you hate broke folks, but ain't had a job in years, no hustle either. You're a joke. You one of those people we tell you need to act like what you post. It's always the people that have the least that seem to always do the most. It's always the poor man calling the rich man a lame, just like it's always the poor man that pretended his way to fame. And that's only if fame ever came. I mean, not like we would know, because that's just not what we do. We only brag about the good days. We hide the struggles we go through. We don't show any emotions, and no one knows us. We don't show any emotions. We're boss, and most of us can't be touched. And none of us are exempt. We've all adapted this social media trend. Some more than others, but we all choose to pretend. Pretend we don't know each other if our paths actually ever cross. Pretend we are celebrities, and for that, we're even willing to take a loss. Pretend we have it all and our grass is just so green. Pretend we have room to judge because our slate is so clean. But what happened to the days when people showed compassion? The days when life was more than money, flexing, and fashion. More than who's got which, who's doing what, and how. Back in the days when I was growing up, things were a whole lot different when I was a child. Truth be told. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is from Volume 1. Volume 2 will be coming out. Go to www.iamuniqua.com and check me out. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure. Thank you, Just Kay and Bangem.
Yeah.
Bangem.
Bangem. Hey, where I get Bangem from?
Bangem Bugg.
That's what it is.
I used to do that.
Okay, Living Miss No Pressure, and we're going to be right back with another guest we have.